All right, welcome to this episode of Seeds and Structure. My name is Austin Oge. Basically, this podcast is to give you an idea of what it looks like in the M&A field, combining mergers and acquisition, as well as strategy and growth. Basically, I sit at the intersection of these three junctions, and this podcast is not just your regular business podcast. We'll be showcasing a lot beyond what the businessman is meant to know, bringing in my experiences from different sectors, from biotechnology, e-commerce, SaaS, that software as a solution platform, as well as the sports business management also. So basically, the idea is to merge M&A, strategy, and growth, knowing fully well that Africa is an emerging market when it comes to M&A trends, but there have been a lot of trends that have gone in the African business ecosystem that businessmen, business owners, business enthusiasts, future investors, should be very interested in. So Seeds and Structure basically is that podcast that would shed more light on this business engagement. So I've been drawing from my background of over 12 years playing in finance, sales, business development, as well as corporate strategy, merging all this cross-sectoral exposure to bring you information that will be relevant in driving your business forward or improving the knowledge you already have. Sitting at this intersection, or more reason why I've decided to title this podcast Seeds and Stone, is the popular story about a rich man that gave his servants, about three of them, different talents. Talents here could represent idea, it could represent a concept, right? And the guy he gave, more went back and made more out of it. The other one he gave lesser than the first guy, went about his business and transformed it. While the last guy dug up a pit and buried his talents, right? The implication here basically is everyone has the opportunity to build something transformational. Whether you are building, whether you are collaborating, whether you are helping someone in his or her business, as a professional, that's an ability to translate your seeds into structure, right? So that's the foundation for which this podcast was established. I know you get the gist, right? I mean, because we want this podcast to be friendly. Everyone, can draw inspiration from this and build transformational business. I would equally be talking about how I've managed to work on my own brand, the failures I've gone through, right, as well as the success I've experienced in this. I'm sure all of us here know whether you're a career professional or not, you should have the gift of entrepreneurship, and that gives you the edge when it comes to taking ownership responsibility, when it comes to taking initiative, right? Because if you do not think as an entrepreneur, it will be difficult for you to maintain even your role as a business professional, as the case might be. I've had this conversation with a lot of persons say, "Oh, I do not have entrepreneurship in me," and I ask this question: Do you take initiative? Do you know what to do when the chips are down? If yes, are your answers to those questions, then definitely you have the seed of entrepreneurship in you. Would everyone be entrepreneurs? Probably not, but everyone at some point would need to draw from the well of knowledge when it comes to entrepreneurship. If you have handled any leadership position before, whether at work, whether at any religious organization or body, whether at even secular or social clubs, right? It means you have that gift of entrepreneurship. Think back to when trade was done basically by exchanging goods for goods, meaning everybody must have that skill, of entrepreneurship. This is something that's, I mean, it's a no-brainer, for business professionals. For you to wake up every morning, decide to go to work, decide to draw out, map out your plan, and your project for the day or your task for the day, means you're taking ownership you're taking responsibility for your business or the entity you represent. That's equally the seed of entrepreneurship. So seeds and structure basically is showing everyone how they can translate their seeds to becoming something more structural, something organizational interfacing, if I may use that language. And if you look at the logo, I think the logo will be popping up on the right side of the screen. If you look at the logo of this podcast, you will see colorful seeds, right? The idea is gotten from the pomegranate seed, which has a lot of nutritional benefits. I'm not in the medical field, so I will not be stressing so much about it. So that's basically the idea. They all come together to form a particular structure which gives it the beauty and provide that aesthetics, that feel, that look, for the logo. So that's basically the idea, right? We take our seeds together, we combine in a collaborative manner, and we transform what we have, or we metamorphose into a structure, just like the butterfly lives different stages or undergoes different stages, right, to become as beautiful as it is, where everyone can admire. So that's the idea behind this. Remember, the things I'm leaving you with: mergers and acquisitions are becoming a big part of business across Africa, and it will equally be good for African businessmen to tap into this, right? You must not wait until your business is about to be acquired, or you are in that conversation, or as an investment banker or a private equity firm to acquire a company. You should have that at the back of your mind, that collaboration is the way forward. When COVID struck and we started looking at macroeconomic outlook, for the next years post-COVID, one key word started resonating with everybody, right? And that's collaboration. We collaborate with virtual tools. We collaborate with virtual platforms, Zoom, Slack, name them. There were quite numerous, Google Meet, as the case might be, right? Why? Because we are all trying to ensure that we can bridge the gap COVID has created. Collaboration has become a big word in today's business. African businesses need to be, ahead of other businesses, even as emerging markets, as we are tagged, because a lot of collaborations will be happening in the next 5 and 10 years. If you watch, for example, I'll give this example, we have a lot of fintech. It seems that everybody that wants to pay for a particular commodity, imagine you have 10 different businesses showing me ways where I can pay for corn I bought on the road. Everybody's almost doing payments. But what happens to them in the next 10 years? So you don't need a soothsayer or a magician to tell you that a lot of them will be collaborating, a lot of them might equally be merging, right? And that's the trend, currently going on in the world. I would end with this illustration or this example. Recently, the Chinese government blocked a $2 billion deal for a US company that was trying to acquire Manos AI. Manos AI happens to be one of the leading AI brands. As a matter of fact, I'm one of the customers of Manos. I use Manos for a lot of engagements, right? The paid version. And one of the reasons the government cited was it's going to be a threat, to the national security, as well as privacy concerns, or security concerns of the users. So a $2 billion deal was put to a hold because of the Chinese government impeding in this deal. And we know that at the moment we have different AI platforms, right? We all know the cloud, we all know the chat GPT, which is one, almost everybody knows. That's open AI, right? We know Gemini, we know Grok, there are a whole lot of them. And I'm sure a lot of you might have not even heard about Manos, right? But Manos happens to be, a leading player in the AI space. So imagine what will happen to, other AI companies if this deal might have gone through. They will start seeing the need for them to, collaborate as against, doing everything on their own. So my point remains, collaboration will become a big and an integral part of African businesses, and we equally need, to start building the trends instead of, rushing to catch up, to the trends. So mergers and acquisition from an operating, point of view, not as an investment banker or a private equity firm, will be part of the things we'll be talking about. How to play in this market, how to plug it into this market, right? How to even build strategic, alliances, right? In as much as I may not give you so much details about certain deals, especially the ones I've been opportune to work on because of confidentiality of my engagement, but at least I'll be able to point you to areas where you can equally look at to build strategic alliances. So mergers and acquisitions, strategy, which has been the core of what I've done over the years, as well as growth will be the other part or the core three pillars of this podcast. Thank you so much for joining. Don't worry, we're not going to be very, very serious or over formal with this, so that all and sundry can equally tap from this and learn, from this podcast. It's been nice having you listen to me and anticipating what we'll be doing in the next couple of episodes on seeds and structures. Till I come your way again next time during the week. Do have a wonderful day ahead. Cheers.